have no problem with fan service. I just need the motherfuckers to not be teenagers. That's all I'm saying. I'm not asking a lot out of you motherfuckers in any way possible. I just don't want there to be kids on my fucking screen as you in this bitch hand-drawing panty shots. I don't need to see that shit. And the real problem with all of this shit is these niggas in Japan just can't stop being freaky for no fucking reason. Freaky ain't even a fucking word. Weirdos, freakazoids, dweebs, I don't give a fuck. Whatever the fuck I can use to describe these motherfuckers, please, for the love of God, just get it together so I can watch this beautiful story with no issues. But fuck it, pause. Let's just get into the video.
I'm gonna tell you one time, no, I ain't perfect. I double my car, I woke up sipping dirty. I'm in the trap right now, trap surfing. I answer my phone about money, it's urgent. Early in the morning, up with the burgers. I think it's about like 6 o'clock, 7:30.
Welcome to Whyheem, my YouTube channel where I talk about random bullshit for your entertainment. And today I'll be watching random Gooner animes to figure out if these bitches have any substance. And for anybody that's gonna sit there and watch their favorite anime be called a Gooner anime, I didn't make this bitch myself. I asked the community. The community being
my fucking self.
I don't care. I know it shows you freak ass niggas are watching. Today we'll be watching these shows to figure out if these bitches have any type of substance whatsoever, or are they made for straight goon bait. And just know the rules for this is that I'm gonna watch until I lose my shit. But if I do enjoy it, I stop at about 5 episodes so I can be fair to everybody. I don't know, it's just that's some arbitrary number I just came up with. I don't know, 5 just feels right. But wild enough, the first anime we're gonna go over in our Gooner expedition is Prison School. We're starting off with Prison School because I have seen the cover and that tells me everything I need to know. I don't need to ask any more questions. I just need to go ahead and watch that bitch. Let's go ahead and get into it. I'll see y'all. I'll be right back. All right, Heem is back after watching 5 episodes of Prison School. Yes, I made it 5 episodes, so y'all know I actually fucked with this. A quick synopsis of this show is that 5 creepy ass, weird ass dudes get let into a traditional all-girls school. They fuck up, do some stupid shit, and then they get sent to a prison that is in the school. Now, in that synopsis, it says nothing about the freakiness that goes on in the actual show, because half of the shit that's going on in this show doesn't need to happen, but that's what makes it funny as hell. I will say though, the first thing that stood out outside of Vice Principal's titties was this bitch is funny as hell. I've heard things about Prison School, never watched it. I've been intimidated. I thought it was just on some straight Gooner shit until somebody told me, hey, actually this bitch is a comedy. Don't worry, just enjoy the show for what it is. And that's why I added it to the list. But we do have to address the elephant in the room.
This thick ass lady
that they threw into the show to beat the dog shit out of all these niggas. That probably has the strength of fucking Kefla from Dragon Ball Z. This woman was beating the fuck out of these boys and was giving out career-ending injuries constantly. Now, what they actually did to get into the prison school, I will spoil right now by trying to catch these girls changing in the locker room. Now, how they got caught was a move straight out of the handbook of Itachi Uchiha. President of this prison school, deadass has crows at her disposal, and throughout the whole show, she used these bitches like she's Itachi, caught these niggas and beat the shit out of them through these crows. But the actual plan, if you ask me, underthought out. But guess what? These boys were just horny as hell. They ain't have time to think of a good plan. If you're wondering if this show beat the Gooner allegations, it did not in any way possible. There were some points of just nakedness in this show, actually. Pretty random too. There was one shot that I obviously can't show of a girl's bare ass animated so fucking nicely. It was so ridiculously detailed that I questioned who the fuck made this, and did they spend more time on this than the rest of the motherfucking show, because the lighting, the shading, and everything was fucking perfect, and I was actually kind of amazed. And just know that will not be the horniest thing that I will say in this video. Now, where the show actually got me highly intrigued was Kiyoshi and his escape plan to get with Chiyo just to watch the sumo wrestling shit with her. All those episodes involving the escape plan was fire as hell. And Takehito, I think is the long-haired dude's name, he stole the show to me. This motherfucker shitted on himself. He cut his hair. He held it down. He got beat the fuck out of, all for the sake of some fucking figures. But damn, was he a good homie. And I will say straight up, the scene of him shitting on himself, top 5 funniest thing I ever seen in an anime in my life. That shit was fucking hilarious. And that's why we're gonna say, does this Gooner anime have substance? Yes. There is a lot of substance to Prison School. There's actually a lot to it that actually is fucking hilarious. If you find somebody watching this, they're watching it for a reason, not so they can put one of their hands in their pants. This is genuinely a good show. I will continue watching Prison School. I will give it about a good 8.7 out of 10. I stopped right around with Chio came to defend Kiyoshi. Overall, I love this show. But I will say, I can't say the same thing about the next anime we're gonna talk about because it's Keijo. The main reason Keijo is on this list is because I don't need to fucking explain. I've seen the trailers, I've seen clips. I just need to actually watch this bitch for myself. So further ado, peace. I'll be back. All right, I am back for my endeavor. And
goddamn,
have you ever sat down and watched a show and been in disbelief that a motherfucker sat down and made this shit? Saying like a nigga made a manga and everything to this. Like there's multiple people on the staff that had to animate and do all this. Now, a quick rundown of this show is that an 18-year-old girl named Nozumi, I forgot, but just know this girl's on the path to be able to be the best Keijo player of all time. Think of this as Blue Lock with booty throwing. Blue Lock, but you take the boys out, you put some girls in, you give them all fat asses and call it a day. You can even call it Kuroko no Booty if you're creative. This show was something. I'm gonna say it straight up. Was this show ass? Sorry. Was this show bad? No. Were there entertaining moments of this? Maybe. Did I catch myself staring at the screen a little too hard? Maybe. But we have to give a thumbs up to all the girls being 18 in this show. Could we go ahead and give a round of applause? Please, it's Japan. Give them a round of applause. They did it. Okay, they're all 18. We don't have to worry about none of this shit. Now we can talk about what we seen and be happy about it. But with all that being said, get all that shit out the way. This verse is wild as hell. Why in the fuck do they watch this shit like the NBA? I don't understand why there's stands of niggas watching teenage girls throw their ass around. Now, what really fucked me up is when they factored the titties in there. That was wild. But now we're hitting for too many angles, all right? Yeah, and too many layers to the game. I'm already complaining from the jump because I gotta take this shit as serious as I can because this is apparently the #1 sport in they verse. Reporters were outside talking to these girls like they were getting ready for the NFL draft. This verse is horny as hell. Even weirder element to this is that I figured out that these girls train as teenagers for this. And this game of Keijo is a recreational game. So my question that I raised immediately was, are these girls playing this shit on the playground? Are they playing this shit as kids? Like, what's going on? My next question was, are boys allowed? You tell me Saucy Santana won't go crazy in this shit? We already know Megan would be like the LeBron of this shit. Megan is athletic as hell and we don't need to talk about the rest, but she would easily dominate this shit. But soon when I thought I knew what the show was doing, this girl with white hair, if I remember right, was snapping bitches' necks with her ass. She was sending girls to the shadow realm with her hip bone, and it was kind of scary. She almost had an Orochimaru vibe while throwing ass. And actually, as we looked at the tape, correction, she had purple hair. That's my fault. I can admit I wasn't fully paying attention to this shit at all. But as you get into episode 2, that's where the training arc comes around. That's where, because they're not actually fighting, they decide to just do panty shots, undershots, full. I mean, you see everything in its entirety. Yeah, they went crazy. Full goo material. They did a good job, I guess, in that side. And crazy enough, after training their bodies, they decide to go inside and learn about the gigawatts of the ass. Booty science, if you will. Now, I would say this has already been discovered by Zeus and Bilu, some of the greatest philosophers we've already seen in our time. But it was good to see the girls learn something useful. But I will admit, where I turned the show off was there was a girl flash stepping with ass. Yes, I'm dead ass that there was a villain arc of this girl who had the fastest booty in the school. If I were to say that sentence to my mom, it would mean something totally different from what the fuck I'm saying right now. And I gotta be honest with you, the animation of this was entirely too good. The budget for the show was entirely too much, but I have so many more questions. Bring back the other question, are boys allowed to do this? Or is there a boy section of Keijo? I didn't get the answer to that, mostly because it can't just be girls. All right, that would make this world very, very misogynistic and are paying girls millions of dollars to throw ass on national TV, that would be wild. But at the same time, equality don't mean the greatest thing sometimes. But my next question is, are BBLs allowed? All right, are those performance enhancers? What if your ass is naturally super fat, right? Like, let's say we're talking about a like real OD situation. Is there an ass limit, right? There's so many questions to this game, and I gotta admit that there was nothing going on in this show outside of ass, but it did raise a lot of good questions that made the show entertaining enough for me to say that there's very little substance to this show. But is it like good enough to like, I don't know, turn off the lights and grab the lotion bottle? Not in any way possible. There's a lot of talking. There's a lot of regular shit going on. You can literally see the animators trying to break the talking with the fan service because they can feel y'all slipping away. But the last show we will talk about was a show that I actually had to watch when I was younger. Now you might say, Heem, what the fuck do you mean by had or forced to watch anything? My friend paid me to watch High School of the Dead when we were younger, and I watched half of the episode, lied about watching it, took the money, and it's been on my mind since then to actually kind of finish and go through this show. High School of the Dead is the next Gooner show that we are gonna talk about, but no more talking. I'm gonna watch the show and I'll be back. All right, so that was some bullshit. In this video, we talked about a show that was more substance than it was goon, and a show that was more goon than it was substance. High School of the Dead finds a way to be somewhat in the middle and be wildly unentertaining for very much for the 5 episodes that I watched, which differ from Prison School. I watched because I was waiting for something to happen. Quick rundown of High School of the Dead. A zombie apocalypse happens outside the school. They get into school. They start biting and killing motherfuckers. They start slapping and yelling at each other and shit like that. And we follow this ragtag group of individuals that are all in high school outside this one very voluptuously built lady, a blonde lady who is insanely clumsy, so damn clumsy that you don't even know if she has shoes or fucking 8-inch heels on her feet. Now the thing is, obviously I was waiting for the clip that everybody knows from this show of the main character using some titties to guard his face while using the sniper rifle. Probably the greatest shit I've ever seen in my life. Probably top 3 coolest things I've ever seen. I'm never gonna do that. Frankly, titties aren't a good guard. All right, I'm still gonna die. If bullets are flying, I don't want to die that way, and I don't need to sacrifice any woman's titties to do that. But it looked cool, and the gigawatts was fucking insane, but it was a cool scene for what it was. But I got none of that in these episodes. All I got was a wild amount of panty shots, some cool animation in there every once in a while, and them doing the same shit for 4 episodes. It was boring as hell. Now I will give this show its credit in one aspect. The jiggle physics in this bitch was ridiculous. I'm talking the slightest movement by these women equaled a earthquake, and you combine that with the blonde lady being clumsy. Just like I said in Keijo, every time it felt like they were talking too long, they would just throw some fan service in there just to keep you long enough. But the difference is Keijo, when the main action was happening, was fan service. This was running and shooting zombies, which could be cool if they weren't just running most of the time, and if they had an actual objective, but they just didn't. It was just survive, and yeah, there wasn't much to it. And remember when I forced y'all to clap for Keijo for being, 18? Well, guess what? That's not the case here. At the end of the day, it's fucking Japan. It took place in a high school. These are all high school girls. I can bet you none of them 18 outside the one lady again. And they were definitely wild frames, wild shots, insane shots in every way possible. Even the intro, wild as hell. Everything about this show was a fucking spiral. And honestly, when it comes to substance, I'ma give it no. I didn't pick that type of show today, I guess. But now that I think about it, I don't think I rated Keijo. I don't give a fuck. High School today, we're gonna go about like a 3, 4. Fuck it, let's go like 4.5 out of 10. The shit was ass without enough ass in it. It was a weird, mix. I just can't say there was much to it. And I will say, if y'all want a part 2 of this video, y'all gonna have to give me suggestions. Don't go too crazy. Like, share, subscribe. Let me know what else y'all want to see on the page. Say hi to my editor, Yungfaxmachine. And for our outro question, who was your anime crush when you was a little one, when you was under 18? I'm going under 18 so I can save some of y'all motherfuckers from prison. I'm gonna say Ino 1000% from Naruto. I like mean women. I've always liked mean women. Mean as fuck, and I just saw the vision. So, peace.